They got the new bridge open, going from you know, St. Mary's to Chester, Illinois. Yes sir, yes sir. This is like 2 lanes now. You can drive wherever you want. That's pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna keep it like that, if they're gonna repave the old bridge, or just knock it down to, you know, 2 lanes and blow up the old bridge. But yeah, it's open for traffic that's heading west. It kind of looks like a place where you might see that big muddy monster running around here. I don't know, gotta keep your head on a swivel. There it is, ain't much to it. Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. We're doing something different today. This is going to be a video in the lesser known series. Kind of got motivated. We went to Pyramid State Park, hit a couple ponds over there, and I plan on going back there. But today we're fishing Randolph County Lake. I don't know anything about it. Just looked on the map. It's about an hour from the house near Chester. It's close to Chester, so I don't know how good it's going to be. A lot of these lakes that are close to the city, they get fished pretty hard. A lot of people keep the stuff, but we're gonna get out here and we're gonna see if we can figure something out. Looks like they have walleye in here. 6 walleye, 14-inch. They got trout. I think I've fished this place one time because I do remember somebody catching a trout right here. It's a small body of water. I'm thinking like, I don't know, somewhere around 100-ish acres. 10 horsepower limit, I would imagine. No wake, it says it right there. So no wake, just gonna be idling around. So if you got a big boat, you can get out here and putt around. But the good thing is it's not a really big lake. Man, it is steel glass. Summertime, it's supposed to be 90 today. Humid, we're right in the middle of summertime. I mean, this water looks pretty kind of stained, dirty. It's got some moss. You know, it's got some of that nasty moss. It's got the Missouri pondweed that's growing out from the bank, so that's good. You might be able to get a frog bite, I don't know. A few docks right here. The lake kind of heads out that way, and it's like there's 1 or 2 little arms. But I'm gonna dump the boat in. You know, we got here a little bit late. You know, the sun's been up for a couple hours, but you know, this is a learning experience. It's fun to go out and explore these lakes. You really have no idea what you're getting into. There's not much information on the internet. Not a lot of, I don't know that there's any videos on this lake. I mean, I did one a long time ago. I think I've been here. I didn't even do any research on it. I just decided I'm going to come here and check it out, do a little bit of exploration. So we'll dump the boat in and, well, we'll just go through the day, see what happens, and I'll keep you updated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Thumbs up. It's always greatly appreciated. I know I say it every time, but it does mean a lot. I'm putting in. Just getting here a little bit late.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to get up in the morning.
Oh, I hear you there.
How's the fishing in this lake?
It's hit and miss.
Really?
Yeah, it's hit and miss.
Yeah, that's
depends on the day, depends on what it's doing outside.
Yeah. Okay.
But the water's been up higher because of the recent rain.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You ever catch any walleye out of here?
No.
I see it on the sign over there. I didn't know they had walleye.
I didn't either.
All right, we got the boat dumped in the water and we're just idling. This is no wake idle only. Boat ramp's nice. I mean, it's steep. You turn to line up to it and you go straight up a hill. And you know, from what I can tell, it seems fine. The water is up. I talked to a couple people that fish here often. They said it's very, very hit or miss. So hopefully it's gonna be a hit today. Man, it's slick, guys. I do not like this at all. Man, it just feels summery. The water's kind of got that pea green look to it, kind of nasty. We've had a lot of rain over here. Of course, it's been like 3 or 4 days ago, but this part of the country got almost historical rains for July. Just a lot of rain. I don't know. It seems like the lake's up just a little bit. It's not like up in the bushes or anything, but you know, we got some shoreline grass there. We got a little bit of that, I call it Missouri pondweed, that kind of grows out. It's viney stuff. And then we just got like some, you know, just some moss on the top, a little bit of mat. But we're just gonna idle around. I'll show you what the lake looks like. I mean, there's a hard thermocline setup right here, guys. It's 6. I mean, you can see it on the side scan. You can see it on the down scan. So that's good. I mean, that's gonna limit, you know, where the fish are at, so we can pretty much focus shallow, at least in this little section of the lake. I mean, a lot of times thermocline's something that varies depending on the day, depending on the section of the lake. This is shallow, so you expect the thermocline to be you know, a little bit higher up in the water column, and also with the color of the water. I mean, I'm guessing, I don't know if this lake is stained all the time. It's something that, you know, I don't know if it's usually clear and it's got stain on it. I don't think it is. Just by looking at it, this doesn't look like a fresh stain. This just looks like maybe the color that the water is. So that would make sense why the thermocline is you know, higher in the water column. But let's pull it out, look at it. I mean, it's small, guys. Look at that. It's a little bitty baby lake. You know, we put in right here at the boat ramp. We're coming out in the main lake point, and there's just one little arm basically. And that's it right here. You know, the dam's right over here. That's the dam. That's the dam on there. And we got a little creek that comes in right here, a little creek that comes in. This is a creek that we're coming out of. But I'm gonna kind of work this area right here. You know, this main lake point. I'm gonna scan it, kind of look out off of it. But we're gonna look at this stuff right here. We're gonna try to find some shallow cover. But definitely gonna try out a little bit deeper off the bank a little bit. It's got some. Yeah, it's got some decent contours right here. This bank right here looks like it's got some decent contours. So it's not just like one of those flat lakes. But we'll see. You know, you got to keep an open mind, but you got to start somewhere. There is some shade, so maybe I'll start in the shade. I do see a guy fishing. There's one other boat here. There's a couple bank fishermen, but one other boat here. And there looks like there's 2 guys in the back of this cove. I can't tell if they're crappie fishing or what, but pretty much got the whole lake through. Man, this thermocline is way up there. I don't know. I'm seeing this bait. You see a little bit of bait on the top of the thermocline there. We'll see. We'll see. Try to stay optimistic. I seen some fish busted. I wish we had a little bit of wind. Need a little bit of ripple of wind. It gives me a little bit of confidence. We're gonna go back in this little, down by this creek. I like a creek, you know. Creek's one of those places where, you know, you always got some fresher water, an influx of water, and, you know, shad always migrate towards the back of a creek. So we do have some shade on that far side, that eastern side. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Don't know what we're gonna start. We got everything, man. We brought a lot of rods, so we'll see what happens. Holy crap, I got rocked right there. Missed him. That was a good fish. Swirled on it. I don't know what it was, but it sure seemed like a big one. That's a fish. Still on there. Filling. Probably a bluegill. Hey, it's a bass. Look at there, caught one. All right, folks, first fish of the morning. Oh, neon, that black neon tube. Shout out to Denny Brower, man. It's not a bad little feller. Just a 4-inch tube by Big Bite Baits, you know, slitting it like I do. 3-aught Gamakatsu Superline EWG, and just the Ranger rod. But you know, this lake is, oh boy, it's tricky. I can already tell it's tricky. There's a lot of grass. It looks good. That grass is that real kind of soupy color. It's not clean grass. It's got a lot of silt on top of it. There's a really hard thermocline in about 6 feet of water. A lot of bait, 0 wind, and I'm just sweating balls already. And it's like 9 o'clock. There's just, it's just super humid out here. Really, really super humid out here. There's a couple little beaver piles right here, and I flipped that tube up there, and that fish grabbed it. Had me down in that beaver pile, so I got to actually retie. But you know, I've had 3 bites on a white swim jig. One of them knocked the snot out of it. I don't know if it was catfish or what, but I mean, it knocked slack in my line. But from what I can tell, I mean, I'm getting most of my bites around these little kind of turns and secondary points. But we're getting to the back of the lake. There's a ton of lily pads back there. I'm not a really big fan of lily pads, so we'll probably tinker around a little bit in that stuff. But we're just kind of flipping. I'm mixing it up. I mean, I'm throwing a chatterbait, throwing a swim jig, and then I'm flipping this tube, just trying to get a feel for, you know, for what's going on. I am gonna tie on a wacky rig. A lot of times a wacky rig, since the thermocline's so high and most of these fish are up shallow, skipping a little wacky rig around can be a pain in the butt because of all this grass, but a lot of times it just kind of keeps it in the fish's face a little bit longer, and that might be the ticket. So we're still figuring it out. Just switch to a black and blue swim jig. I'm gonna cover some of this shallow milfoil right here. We're in the back of the lake. I mean, there's a creek that comes in, but it's all padded in. Can't really get to it. But we're gonna go back there and have a look. I wish there was a little bit of a whisper of wind. My cameras keep shutting off because it's just been so still out here. And not a lot of bites. There's a lot of bait in here. But I think this is one of those lakes where they're either on or they're not biting. And you know, we're probably fortunate to get the few bites that we have. If we get some wind, like this wind right here, this might turn them on. That's a good fish. Might turn them on, just a little bit of wind. Sweet. Little swim jig change, black and blue. Hey, there we go, man. That's a decent little fish. I switched up from a white swim jig to a black and blue. This is just little 3/8 ounce Buckeye lures with a rage crawl on the back. And we got just the wisp of wind came in here. We're all the way in the back of this creek, almost to the other end of the lake. And it's all, you know, there's lily pads everywhere. So I don't know how far I'm gonna be able to go back in here, but you know, just slow rolling this swim jig. That fish is in like a foot of water. These fish are shallow. There's a lot of bait in here. I think it's one of those lakes where, you know, they're either gonna be biting or they're not. And I mean, you know, we've had a few bites, so that's good. But we're gonna, I mean, this is the new lucky lure of the day. We'll see what happens. me flip a few of these pads, but I just don't have confidence in pads unless I see fish blowing up in them. There's bluegill in there, popping around. There he is. Ha ha ha. Little guy, we'll take him. There he is. Man, I'm getting some bites on the black and blue swim jig. That seems to be the best bait. I've flipped a lot, you know. I really flipped a lot of those pads back there. Thrown a frog a little bit, chatterbait, and skipped a wacky rig. But man, I really haven't got bites on anything but the swim jig. You know, I started out with a white one with a menace, and I had 3 bites on that, and I switched to black and blue, and this definitely seems to be the color. So we're covering water, and we're over here in the shady area, and my cameras keep shutting down. You know, this chesty cam definitely keeps shutting down because it's so dang hot out here. It's probably 90, but the humidity is ridiculous. We just need a little bit of wind, and I think that would totally change everything. But this is a cool lake. Got a lot of grass along the bank, and I haven't really focused on a frog because I'm just not seeing anything popping in the grass. So I think the best bet is just to continue to cover water with this, and if I see a laydown or something, I'm picking up that tube and I'm flipping it in there a couple times, but I'm trying to keep moving. There he is. Sure enough, boom, just like that. They're definitely on points. Gosh, should have just let him eat it. I'm so trigger happy. This freaking rod this is that Virtus Red Diamond, like swim jig rod. Man, it is so damn sensitive. I haven't been fishing a swim jig much lately. There he is. On this point. Something about points, man. Something about points. That's a good bite. He just grabbed it and kind of held it. These fish are, I mean, they're healthy. They're built really well. They're tall. Kind of got that golden color to them. No complaints, man. Under these conditions, I'm really surprised that we are getting a few bites. I can only imagine if the wind would blow just a little bit, I think it would get pretty good out here. I mean, that fish was up there in like 4 feet of water. It's been basically, it seems like 4 to 6 feet has been spots I'm getting the bites, just kind of out off this grass. You know, I've been going up in the grass, and I haven't really got a bite doing that. So I think they're just sitting kind of right off the edge of that grass. This lake's got some depth to it. I mean, it really does. It's, you know, it's, you're not too far off the bank, and you're in, you know, 8, 9 feet of water. And out in the middle, I mean, it's 15 to 20, so it's got good depth to it. Even these banks that felt like a bite. Even along these banks, they got some good deep water. So that's what I think's going on. These fish got a heavy thermocline, and they're, you know, they're just pushing up to where that grass line kind of drops off, which is right about where the thermocline is. So it's kind of a perfect scenario for just fishing down the outside of this grass. All right, getting a little rounded out point. A little bit different. Water is 88 degrees. Damn it. Look at that. Took my stuff. Snatches up on slow roll on that swim jig. Not really a point, but a little bit of a turn. A little bit of turn. I mean, it seems to make a big difference. Get around an area where the bank just turns a little bit, and you're going to get more bites. Another one. Get some bites. Get some bites. Wish this cloud cover would stay here. Cameras keep shutting off. I'm gonna have to retie because that sucker ran me up right against the side of the boat. He was not getting off. They're getting it fairly well when they decide to commit to it. I'm having a lot of them just kind of bump it. Not a lot, but a few.
But the ones that get it, they get it.
All right, folks, midday report, man. It's hotter than a bear's balls out here. Water temp is 88.6 degrees. And man, there's a lot of bait just kind of hanging around in this grass. I'm not really using the forward-facing sonar much, but as I do look around, you know, there's bait kind of here and there. Everything seems to be relating to points. If I get around a point, that's where I'm getting a bite, and more main lake type stuff. But this is a pretty cool lake. You know, you look around the bank, it's kind of like a big farm pond, actually. The bottom there's not really, I mean, I haven't really found any rock. It's just kind of a soft bottom everywhere, pretty consistently soft. Not a lot of hard cover, not a lot of wood laydowns. There's one here and there, but for the most part, it's just like a grass type of deal. It's coontail, you know, a lot of it's kind of dirty, not really clean. There's those little patches that are cleaner than others, but it's just got that kind of sediment on it. Water is, man, it's like 2 foot of visibility up to 1 foot of visibility. I don't know if that's normal, but you know, I came out here, I didn't really know what to expect, and we're getting some bites. You know, air temps are like 90 something. My cameras keep shutting off, but surprisingly, with no wind and middle of summertime, pretty much slick, we are able to generate a few bites on that black and blue swim jig. So we're just gonna continue to cover water, keep that thing in our hand, and see what happens. How about that? Snatches up one, popped it out of that grass, and you got all excited, didn't you? What you got on here? All right, folks, this has been the deal. As far as the deal can go today, just a 3/8 ounce black and blue jig, and I'm putting a ray trawl in there. It's a bigger profile because this water is really stained, and I like that bigger profile when I'm fishing the stained water. And I like to contrast the colors. You know, it's black and blue, but I like to put some sort of green pumpkin on there. It just really gives it the full spectrum of bluegill, and I think that's what these fish that are biting, that I'm getting bites from, are, you know, mainly feeding on bluegill, because I'm getting a few bluegill bites. And when we're going through those pads and stuff, there were definitely some bluegill popping. So just a ray trawl, nothing fancy, just threading it up on there. This bait's got like a 4/0 hook on it, so I trimmed the skirt material back quite a bit. You know, I like that skirt to hang just a little bit past the bend, and that's the deal. We're just kind of floating it around. I like that 3/8 ounce. You can fish it a little bit faster than a 1/4, but you know, we don't need something that gets real deep like a 1/2. So throwing it on, I think this is 14 or 16 pound Sunline FC Sniper. Of course, we got that swim jig rod and the loose reel. There he is. There we go. Another point down there by the dam. It's a little bit better fish. I think it's got a 14-inch length limit in here. I mean, that'd probably go home with me if I wanted to eat it. If I was in a tournament, throw it in the live well. Man, we keep getting bites. It's hot, no wind, but keeping the old jig in the hand, it's paying off. It's fun. I mean, I'd say just based on, there's a little bit of water coming over this overflow. The lake's probably just full, you know, it's just full, a little bit high, maybe just a couple inches high. Got ducks. It's a cool little lake. A little brush pile. Can't really see many brush piles. It's actually shallow enough to hold some fish. Already kind of came up on it, but it's good to know. It's kind of cute, a little swing. Little pole swing. Oh, there's a fish. And what? Is that a fish? I turned it once and he grabbed it, I thought. Maybe not. That's a fish. Sucker came back and grabbed it. I mean, that guy right there was in like nothing. You're hungry, weren't you? So there's kind of what I'm doing right here.
You can see all this grass on the live scope right there. I'm trying to like keep my jig right above it. Just kind of floating it through the top of that stuff, and the fish are kind of sitting down in it, and they'll come up and grab it. But that's what we're doing. You know, most of these bites, it's all been like 4 to 6, maybe 7 foot of water. But out here you can see that thermocline. Sucker's hot right there in like 6-ish. There's a big fish sitting on top of the thermocline. Oh, pitch and catch, baby. Pitch and catch. Some fish up there and nothing over here on this bank. Oh, come on. Settle down. All right. About time to get a new crawl, and I think I'm out of these, but it's okay. There he is. Man, he freaking wake that thing. Put on a new trailer. Big Bite Baits fighting crawl. Tilapia. And it works. It's always, you know, whenever you switch trailers, I ran out of that rage crawl. You're always like, was it the trailer or is it just that I'm doing the right thing? And then there's, you know, each trailer does a little bit different. This is flatter, so I was thinking, well, it's going to stay up a little bit higher in the water column, so I have to slow it down a little bit, but it doesn't seem to matter, man. It's just they're wanting a black and blue jig. Oh. Golly. They're freaking attacking this thing. That might have been a better fish, guys. Skipped it in there and she came up and shunk. No, little guy. They're stacked up on this levee. They're stacked up on this levee. Seems like I'm getting more bites with this new trailer. I don't know. Sometimes you find a good trailer just because you run out of the other trailer that you thought was better. Another one. God, they're killing this thing. That's a better fish. This sucker's fat. Look at that. Nothing wrong with that guy. Okay, so I think this trailer will work just fine. I mean, I flipped with it a bunch. I love it. It's a great flipping bait. Now, it's a great swim jig trailer. Because they're smoking it. Riggedy ass dock. I'll go up here in the shade and eat me a sandwich. Eat me some chicken. Okay. Hopefully the bees and stuff ain't too bad up here. I just gotta get in the shade. We're about out of time, but I thought I'd come up here just for a little bit. There's really no shade around here. The sun's high in the sky. And the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. But we need to sit down. Well, we got a little bit of wind finally. We're about to the end of the lake. Pretty much fished a lot. Let's say we fished like 70% of the lake. Another point. Thought I had a bite when I came through here. A little bit better fish. I don't know if there's really big fish in here, but you know, that's better than average from what I've been catching. I'm sure there are some big ones in here. It's kind of like when you come to a new place, the best time to really see what it's capable of producing is in the springtime. Definitely not in the middle of the summertime. But just from what I can see, I mean, it's got some fish in it. It's pretty cool. These little wood duck boxes back in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Finally got some wind. Man, it feels a whole lot better out here. It ain't much, but it didn't take much. Everything's just kind of moving now. And spider. Yep. If there's a big fish in the lake, it's gonna bite today. This will probably be a good spot for him. Giant laydown. A little bit of wind blowing in here. We'll see. I'm not gonna pick up a tube or anything, because you can, this kind of thing I could spend like 10-15 minutes flipping this thing, and we're about done. So we're just gonna cast this old swim jig in there. See if one comes out and snatches it. Just hit all these limbs right here. Everything in this lake's got like slime on it or something. Just a coat of stuff on it. Look at this stuff right here. I should probably flip that. But I'm not going to. On point, imagine that. Another lay down. This little stretch got some laydowns in it. Just haven't been able to really get many bites off wood. Snapper, get up in here. Get up in here. Another one. There's a good one. There's a good one. Awful piece of wood. Just talking about ain't catching nothing off wood. Come here, sucker. Good fish. Look at that one. Hey, that's a good quality fish there. Nice one. He gone. Those suckers are strong, boy. Off that lay down, just slow rolling it and just load it up. Whew. Man, I'm making us work for it, but it's definitely been a pretty good day. That came off that lay down and grabbed it. Just looked down and I saw it was a mouth. I'm like, what? Woo, that was cool. They got my stuff too. Smoked it. had decent little fish. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up. Man, we had fun out here, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10. This lake's probably like, I mean, for just having fun, it's like a 7-ish. It's not like a premier trophy lake, I don't believe. I mean, I'm sure there's some pretty good fish in here, and I would like to come back here in the spring, you know, to check it out, to see what it holds. I mean, it's got walleye in it, according to the sign. It's got trout in it. They do like a winter trout stocking program, so it might be one of them deals where you could put on a big, you know, glide bait and catch 1 or 2 really big ones. I've heard there's some decent fish in here, but man, we caught some fish. We would have had a couple limits, you know. It's a 14-inch limit. We caught probably, I don't know, we probably caught 6 or 7 over that 14-inch limit. Nothing big, probably 2.5-ish or so is the biggest one. But it was fun, you know. The black and blue swim jig was the deal for sure. A rage crawl most of the day, and then I put this big bite baits fighting crawl on there, and tilapia magic, and they were actually they were smashing this better than the rage crawl. So, you know, it's interesting when you run out of your favorite trailer and you try something else. Sometimes it becomes your next new favorite trailer. I don't think that I would have caught near as many fish if I would have slowed down, and that's something that I'm starting to figure out as the years pass by. A lot of times when it's tough, I want to pick up like a shaky head or a finesse jig or a Texas rig or something, you know, and really slow down and pick stuff apart. And that's not always the case. I mean, even though there's no wind blowing, it's full sunshine, we're in the middle of the day, you know, tough conditions, they wanted something moving. And I'm 99% sure that if I would have slowed, well, I know for sure, because I did slow down, and I got 1 bite on a tube, and that was it. And I pitched and flipped quite a bit. So they wanted something moving. They didn't want a chatterbait. They wanted this guy right here. You know, it's a cool lake. It's a really cool lake. It's super peaceful out here. There was one other boat here when I got out here, and I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I think this lake's really healthy. There's a lot of shad. You know, the thermocline's down there around 6 to 8 feet, so everything's kind of pushed up. So you really get to see what's in the lake as far as, you know, the forage base, and there's plenty of food in this lake for sure. But we had a lot of fun. I really enjoy these lesser known series. It's you know, you get burnt out fishing a lot of the same lakes. I always go out there on lakes that I fish a lot, and I try to catch them different ways. You know, I'm always trying to catch them a different way just to challenge myself. But when we come to these lakes, we just, you know, everything's on the board. You just pick up a bait, try to figure it out, and it's fun experimenting and learning different bodies of water. So that's all I got for you. Let me know, do you like these lesser known series? I'll go try to check out some more. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Thumbs up. Till next time.